in, we about to smash
There.
it. Leo Savage, Leo Savage, Leo Savage. Got the matches about to set the game on fire, yeah. Leo Savage, Leo Savage, Leo Savage, Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage,
Yo.
Leo Savage, Leo Savage. Got the matches about to set the game on fire, yeah.
What's up, team? Welcome.
Leo Savage,
Welcome.
still Mace flow. So seamless.
We're almost set up. Just getting things turned on. And we'll get right into Steel Mace Flow education. Yo, man, super excited to bring you this one. A little advancement in your sword swing practice. If you're like me, you like to swing the mace like a sword, whether it's from the bottom or the top. Almost there, my friends. Just gotta pull up one more window. Oh, actually, I think that's it right there. Bam. Bam. I think that's it. Let me see. Boom. Almost there. There it is. There it is. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode. Are we on 15? 1-5? Episode 15, guys. Congratulations to us. Congratulations. Get up here, man. Get on my face. Hey, hey. Hey, that's right, my friends. We did it. The song starts over. Yes, I know. Guys, we did it. Right on. A little close-up moment. Yep. I think so. I think so. There it is. We did it. 7,000 followers on YouTube. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to have 7,000 YouTube subscribers? You know, actually, I like saying subscribers more than followers, and I think it's tenfold. Thank you guys for supporting me. We have 7,000 supporters on YouTube. That's awesome, man. I guess I really haven't got to reflect on that. I'm just kind of doing that now as we speak. But wow, very cool. I remember starting my YouTube channel years ago, and the reason why I started a YouTube channel was I was constantly making content, and I didn't have a place to store it. And so I started filming my daily practice and putting it on YouTube as a means to have a record of some of the history of Mace Flow. I did feel that it would eventually be very important. And I guess it's very important is relative. It's been very important to me, and I've definitely made some connections with some people out there. And approaching my 9th year? Yeah. Going into my 9th year of Steel Mace Flow practice. Wow, some things have changed. Like I'm noticing my gray hair, which I think looks dashing. Well, enough of the trip down memory lane. Let's just go ahead and teach you guys this. Well, it's more of a drill, a way that I've taught myself to swing sword, or the mace like a sword, and it's how I teach my students, and it's what we're going to share here with you. This is one of my favorite pieces of steel mace education because it hits a point that I think a lot of us can get stuck on and not find like a pathway through. And so I'm very excited to bring you this to celebrate our 7,000 subscriber on YouTube. Boom. It was so weird. We'd get a few and we'd lose a few and we'd get a few and we'd lose a few. And so I was like at 6,995. And then I'd lose 2. And then I'd be at 6,998. And then I'd lose 3. It's so funny. Anyways, okay. We got Bluey. We got the blue mace out. We're going to do some moves with it. You guys, as always, before we get started, lock your door. Make sure you're in a safe environment. Make sure there's nobody around you. And if you have a ceiling light, make sure you're not standing directly over it because we are going to need some overhead clearance today. Yes, that's right. Overhead clearance day. We're going to be swinging the sword, swinging the mace sword. And let me see if I can get a good photo for you guys. I think I'm going to have to zoom in just a tiny bit and we will get started. Yo, whoever's out there, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Hope your day's going well. Going to zoom in just a bit more. And let's tilt the camera up just a bit. You know, I have presets on my camera, and I've been wondering what the fuck to do with them, but I think I have it figured out. Okay, to get it warmed up, first thing we're going to do is a landmark 3 to landmark 3 transition. Just like that, it's easy. Bang. All right, here's the key. Look, keep your fucking hands on the mace. Don't take your hands off of the mace. Each time you get in position, grip and rip. Well, if you do this long enough, what starts to happen is you start to cheat. Or not cheat, but you start to enjoy momentum. And it turns into more of a toss. See, all you have to do is get the weight to move a little bit, and the build of the mace, especially a hollow-handled mace, will do the rest. And so I like to always examine the smallest points of small moves. And what you start to notice is as you tire, you start to use maybe one less hand. You start to toss the mace from hand to hand. And so there's this moment of time where you're controlling the mace from the top. It's very small, it's very minute, but attention to details. Okay, and so I love to do the sword draw switch to warm up my sword techniques. All right, after we've done that, very easy, we're going to take our mace and we're going to lower the head and teeter the mace off to the side, just like this, almost like I'm stopping or blocking off to the side. My elbow tucks in just a bit. From there, I'm going to stand my mace back up. I'm going to switch. I'm going to stand my mace up, and you'll notice that I'm tucking in my my forearm. Now, for form's sake, you can extend, but then you kind of ruin the front image. You can also stop the mace at an angle, and it looks like you are blocking overhead, or you can take the elbow back and behind you just a bit, and that helps to make things straight. However, you end up stopping. Me, I love this angle. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I get to use the handle to push down into my bottom hand. I get to resist, and I get to use my obliques on both sides to really stop the weight from falling down. Now, if we do this long enough, we'll start to cheat or enjoy momentum, start to take advantage of the momentum. And it might start to look like a throw. So we're going to do that same technique, but instead of holding the mace, you'll notice that my hand is open and I'm just guiding the mace. If I ever get in any type of trouble, my hand automatically will grip down on the mace, and it's that simple. And now that we've accomplished that, we start to just keep our hand in place as we do our transition. Of course, you can put your hand anywhere you want, but what you start to develop is a sword swing where you're not so much focusing on swinging the mace, but you're focusing on controlling the mace. The mace teaches you good mechanics, because if something's out of line, it straightens it out. These techniques are hard to do with bad form. Okay, that's the technique. That's the technique. All right, let's put the camera on follow for a second. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Hey, do me a favor in the comments. Shout out where you're from. I'd love to know who I'm talking to. Oh, I didn't get it. Boom. And back up, please. Back. Oh, that's not backing up. Back all the way up. Ace. Okay, so we're going to start to raise our hip as we do our technique. Very simple. I'm going to lift my heel off of the floor, rotate outward just like so, and I'm going to lift my hip up just a bit. I'm going to do that in tandem with the connection of my elbow and my thigh. So since I'm lifting my hip up just a little bit, and I'm not locking out my opposite leg, important, I get a little bit secure, a little bit more secure landing. Or at least I'm meeting my hip or the rotation with a little bit of core. From there, we're going to lock hands, invert hands. And if you'd like to, as you're getting used to this, you can keep both hands on the mace. Now there's a lamp right above me, so I have to be very careful to not destroy my lamp today. One thing I really love about this technique is the elbow stops or helps control the momentum of the mace. And it's really not your elbow, but it's everything flexing into place that's helping stop the momentum from the tail from spiraling over. But what would happen if we did let it spiral over? Well, we just can add a technique. Hopefully you guys have been practicing, I forget what episode it was, but hopefully you guys have been practicing your outside sword swings, because we are going to add our outside sword swing on the end of our flow. Now, Leo, I mean, I know what you're saying. Coach, you're using really small blue mace. Will that work with the big mace? And the answer is yes. I'm just, as you've maybe have taken this, watched this show before, you know I like to eat up a little bit of your time by using the blue mace first. Now, to add on to our technique, to continue the spiral line, we're just going to add on an inward 360. Just a regular rotation behind the back, elbow in front. That's our 360. We'll do our switch. We'll angle out. We'll meet the elbow and the hip. We'll do our outside swing. Stop. Drop the foot. Spin inside. Spin outside. Now, what just happened there is my moves started to bleed into each other, and that's not a bad thing. Now me, I like my elbow to be off of my hip. That way my elbow can raise and lower as needed to make room for my wrist. All right, boom, technique, technique. Technique. Now what we're doing is we're stopping the mace's momentum and we're circling back the other way. But what would happen if we followed the momentum? And so we can end up back on the other side. Now there's a special technique that we're going to teach you guys. And I don't know if we've covered this before. I don't know if I have, but I have a special technique that I like to use for going behind my back. It's very sneaky. We will need a big mace to show you the technique. So let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. Grabbing a bigger mace and, oh, not that big. Try to grab the big mace, man. Try to grab the big mace. All right, and so however you break up that technique, it is a really good lesson for you guys to take in. All right, so let's go ahead and get a little focus here. And we'll see if I can show you this super slick technique. Let me back this up just a hair. Let's try that. All right, maybe a little bit further, a little bit lower. You know, I need a camera guy. You guys want to be my camera, bro? Need a camera, bro. Whoa, that was weird. Okay. All right, so with our big mace, let's go ahead and start off from round one. We're going to do landmark 3 to landmark 3 transitions. After a while, we're going to start to use the momentum and go from side to side, pop, pop, pop. After that, we're going to stand our mace up. We're going to stand our mace up with the bottom of the mace facing up, with the head of the mace facing down. After a while, we'll start to lift our heel and bring our knee up to help meet a landing point for our elbow and hip. After we've done that, we'll start to roll with one hand. After that, we'll add on the outside sword swing. Pop. 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 After that, we'll add on the inside 360, which is inside 360. Sword switch. Outside 360. And then we go back the other way. 360. Now, as you go up in mace size, usually the head of the mace gets bigger, and so you have to make sure you have enough ground clearance so you don't bump your head. Bump? Did I just say bump your head? Bonk your head. If you'll notice, I don't bring the globe by my head, but rather just bring my elbow through. Okay, now to get behind the back. Watch this. Check this out. I'm going to slide my mace down. Pop, just like so. And because now that I've increased the lever, it's not so much about getting the tail around, but it's about getting the head over. And what you'll notice is behind your back with about, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches of mace, you'll notice that the switch behind the back is a lot easier, and I'm not having to jump my elbow or shoulder to make this rotation happen, but rather I can just kind of seamlessly do it in my wrist. From there, I make a little bit of space, and that's where my hand can go. All right, but when I get to the other side, I still have that same problem. So if you leave a little bit of room on the bottom of the mace and worry about spiraling the head of the mace instead of the tail of the mace, I know that's kind of silly or odd to think about because we're swinging in sword style, but it makes a lot of sense to have this extra little room. Once again, all I'm doing is lifting the head and making a little space. I make sure I don't get to the bottom of the head because I still want to use the momentum of the head to get into place. And so, if you try this technique versus being by the head of the mace, it is a substantially different feeling. And I guess this is all going to be subjective to how long your arms are. But for me, this seems to work a whole lot better. Adding on spin behind the head, adding on the outside sword swing, gently making room. You can see that here as I transition from position to position. Again, behind the head. We have our outside sword swing. Here's where I make the room. Boom, boom, boom. Make the room. Outside. Make the room. Boom! 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 What's going on with my words today? What's going on with those? Well, I don't know. Well, hopefully, this will take you to your next step. What a big difference it makes just to leave a little bit of the head of the mace out. You can try that in the front, and what you'll notice is the mace moves pretty easy. So, that's it. That's the lesson. A little sword swing drill for you guys. And so, what's next? You guys have some sword swings. You have some transitions. You've got a couple moves. I think adding a step would be an awesome technique to add to this, or another move. Like one of my favorite moves, the mill. If I can do a mill and somehow figure out how to grab the head from the top, I can now add in my new technique. And now, if I can figure out how to grab the middle, oh, look at that. I can now add in my favorite technique and my new favorite technique and switch sides. Mm, mm, All right. I kind of feel like a happy birthday song, you know? I kind of feel like I'm owed a happy birthday song, guys. 7,000 subscribers. What in the fucking hell, yeah? We're so pumped about that. Yeah, yeah, we did it. It only took us quite a long time. I want to give a big shout out. There it is. If you're in New Jersey, Soma Movement in Maplewood has an amazing, man, they just got an amazing vibe, top to bottom. They got an amazing vibe, top to bottom. My good buddy Chaz and MC are owners of that gym. They are amazing people that I would not only train with, but break bread with. Not to mention, they've got one of the best Mace coaches out there. One of my good friends, Rich, is out there. If you guys are in New Jersey, Maplewood, and you want to do some steel mace, I got a guy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. 7,000 subscribers. 7,000. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of workout. I'm going to do some workout, and then I'm going to play some games. And I'm going to eat some amazing food, and I'm going to have an amazing day. And, also, guys, I am going to take on a few students, just a few students. I'm thinking 2 or 3. And I would love to coach some people one-on-one, whether you're pursuing your teacher certification or you just want to learn some new moves or train with your coach. As always, if you feel like you need to show some appreciation for the channel, I know that there's a couple tip buttons on here for like a super chat and some other stuff. That's not necessary. Instead, comment, like the video, subscribe, and if you're already doing all those things, thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Let's hit them with it. Let's hit them with it.
Leo Savage. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Got the matches, about to set the game on fire. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we
This chair's not gonna
last.
last.
Leo Savage.
This chair
Leo
is
Savage.
not gonna last.
Got the matches, about to set the game on fire. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo